Nutrien Equine Ready to Run online sale commences the 20th, goes through to the 22nd, which is this time next week. It's a great concept. Nick Hooper has lot number 15 in it. Beautiful big chestnut gelding by Love You out of Cruise in the Pacific. Firstly, Nick, thank you very much for joining me, mate, for probably about the 10th time today.
No, always a pleasure. Thanks for having us on, mate.
We're here to promote the sale, also here to promote your lot. Yourself and Paul Graydon, you are sellers, and you've got this lovely colt. I've got a picture of him up there. Colt, I said it again, but he's a gelding. Definitely is a gelding up there in the top corner. Very, very striking individual, though, isn't he?
Oh, he's look, I'm biased, but he's turned into a hell of a gorgeous fella. Rita Burnett's done a wonderful job with him. Over the last 6 or 8 months, he's been at her place, and she's turned him from, the usual ugly ducklings when they're shaggy and pot-bellied and all that sort of stuff coming out of their weanling phase, and she's turned him into a wonderful-looking yearling, now rising 2-year-old. Couldn't be more proud of him.
Absolutely. I got the video up and going of him at Shepparton. To view the full sale, go to the full video, go to the Nutrien equine.com.au website, and you can view all of the video footage. All the young ones have got their video footage up there. But this bloke, he is a cracker, and he looks terrific. Some of the photos really do him justice and the likes. He only trotted a quarter in 44, but he's not anywhere near ready to run any time, isn't that right?
Absolutely. That's the message that anyone who's asked, and we've spoken to a few people in the lead up to this sale, he was never going to run time like some of the paces did. He's simply not ready. He hasn't been pushed. Anyone who buys him is buying a horse who's a work in progress. And Rita, as I said, has done a wonderful job with him. He's got a great temperament. He's really trotting along nicely. And anyone who takes him on next preparation, I've got no doubt he'll take another step forward, and so on and so forth. So he won't be an early 2-year-old early next year, not hiding anything there by saying that. And hopefully maybe 12 months' time, when Breeders' Crowns, which we're enjoying at the moment, and Vic Breds are on, maybe he'll be ready for that in 12 months' time. Who knows?
Timing is everything. You say about the Breeders' Crown, it's Breeders' Crown weekend next weekend with some terrific racing. To put a sale on in this weekend, it's a bit of a masterstroke, isn't it? Because it's great weather. Like if COVID wasn't around, you could imagine people getting to sales and starting to talk about horses and horses that they can buy, like to strike that bug, I suppose, that we all, I suppose, get. We've got to try and get new owners into it, and it's a great way to get them to be hit by that bug and sort of say, right, here's one you can buy straight away, and then they can get involved with the online bidding as well.
Absolutely. I think it is good timing. Bit of a gap in sales proceedings, if you like. They filled it nicely. We've got the yearling sales with APG, APTS come February, and then Nutrien with their first yearling sale come April. I think they've chosen a great time to do it. A lot of enthusiasm around at the moment, and the simple fact is, whether you're looking to buy my bloke or whether you're looking to buy one of the paces, you can basically see what you're aiming at. You're aiming to be part of a Breeders' Crown next year. And some of these, I must say, some of these paces I was pretty impressed with when I saw their footage of them charging around Shep and Menangle.
Absolutely, and just as I said, go to the website. I've got an interview coming up straight after this with Mark Jones. It's got a Kiwi connection about it. That makes this sale even more intriguing for mine, to be able to have horses, over the ditch, and they're two lovely types as well.
Well, I think that, as we know, COVID has changed a lot of things over the last 6 to 8 months. The accelerated acceptance of all forms of technology. I mean, this, for example, Campbell's comments was hardly a twinkle in your eye 6 or 8 months ago, and it's been, conceived, born, walking out of nappies and almost lost at Dell plates. It's going that well. So, but I think the sales as well, we managed to get through our sales before COVID really hit. The Thoroughbreds got hit in the middle of the year and had to cope with online sales, and actually they went pretty well. And I think that with a lot of things in life, we're now accepting the use of technology as a way to commercially transact. So I really think this sale, I'm expecting it to go well. I'm expecting buyers to follow that lead that we've had through the last 6 to 8 months and embrace what Nutrien are doing. And I couldn't be more thrilled for the way that they're entering the market.
I think the one thing with Nutrien, there's been a lot of feedback. Look, I'll be honest, not all of it's been positive to them. But you just ring Mark and tell him, oh, you need to do this. They get onto it straight away. I think that's the one thing they are. They are learning and they are evolving as they're going, as is this style of a sale.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, in a lot of ways, this has been, it's not a test run for next year, naturally, but there'll be aspects to it that they're able to test out and see what works and see what doesn't, get the feedback for what the buyers want and utilise that knowledge to make the experience for buyers and sellers next April and in the time in between to be the best possible experience and the best possible result. So the thing I like about Nutrien has been their willingness to adapt, their willingness to listen to critique or listen to suggestion and put it in place. And so Mark and Em and the team to be congratulated.
Campbell's comments. I'm going to catch up with M Monday, Tuesday. It may even be Wednesday, but just explain how the sale works. You've got to be registered before the 20th. You don't have to be registered before the 20th, but if you want to put a bid in on the 20th, you've got to make sure you're registered and the intricacies of how it goes. I'm also going to hopefully catch up with Ricky Alchin. I was hoping to do that today, but I might be still on my L plates with some of my technology today. I might be going back to the trials for a satisfactory after today's effort, I think, Nick, but we are getting there. But I think the one thing I really enjoy is the fact that everyone is on that same level playing field as far as looking at them online. Yeah, some people in New Zealand might have been able to go and have a look at those horses, but they can't jump on a plane and come over here and have a look at any of these, and vice versa. And it's the same with both states at the minute. So it's going to be very, very intriguing this year as to how it all does come about. But I love the fact that everyone's on that same level playing field. I said about to you there before, in one of these ones, where it's the other aspect of this sale is for young people that are looking at it and want to stay in harness racing, which is one thing that I'm very big on, is trying to keep participants in the industry. It opens up so many more avenues, this does, as far as going to the sales in February or April, whichever sale you want to go to, buy some horses with the aim of putting them back through this sale. It's effectively pin hooking. I mean, they do it for weanlings, but it's a form of pin hooking if you like to take a punt. Same young trainers trying to get some owners in the game. If you've got some owners keen to buy a horse, get onto this sale. Have a look at it. It might be, instead of buying an older horse that's had 4 or 5 starts, here you've got a freshly made one that you might be able to get up and racing by March next year. It's an exciting sale that offers so many more aspects to harness racing, I think.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about that. I think you're spot on. First-time owners, young owners, gives them an opportunity with the right pick to get a horse up and going quickly. And look, we all want a quick return on investment, but we know we've also got to be patient. But it's nice to give time owners an opportunity to get involved quickly. But at a personal level, Paul and I have been selling our colts and some of our fillies at the sales. We've been very pleased with some of the results we've got. For some of them, not so much. And with this bloke lot 15, we wanted to try something different because, and I think that's important. Talking to other breeders in my role as HBV's president, you get different types of feedback. And I think it's really important for our members and other members of the industry to be able to have differing ways to sell your horses, because whilst you might have a really well-bred one by a very commercial sire that can go to the yearling sales and get a really good price, there are plenty of lovely horses out there that are by sires that are perhaps not quite as commercial that have done extremely well. And Lochinvar Art, who obviously won last night at Melton, he went through this type of sale a few years ago. He's by Modern Art, who's been a very successful sire, but maybe not as fully commercial as others at the moment. But it just goes to show that different ways of selling horses create opportunities for their owners to sell them if that's what they're looking to do.
And I think that's there's so many more facets, I think, to this sale, and there's probably a lot more things that'll come out from it after the sale as well. As we said, it's a continually learning thing. One other thing that I did touch on, there's a couple of four reasons, but anyone that's investing in a young horse going forward, wanting to invest in breeding right at the minute with the Australian bred, New Zealand bred stallions, and are worried that maybe when you go to the sales and if you're stuck next to a heap of Betters Delights and Art Majors, you may not get the money you're after. Here's another avenue for you to think about where you can get them up and going and be able to then still be able to get a return, and maybe a great return if you do have one that goes like a Lochinvar Art.
I've got no doubt that when this year's foals that are being conceived are born in 2021 and then go to the sales in 2023, I've got no doubt that the headlines on some of them is going to be the size of the first win bonus. And that's going to be, I'm going to really be interested to see how buyers respond to that. Firstly, at the yearling sales, but then in this form of sale, you can take a horse that might not be as commercially bred as others. And I can tell you, if you can show buyers that you've got a horse that's up and running with a $12,000 first win bonus, you'd like to think that people would be falling over themselves to invest, because the returns are there. You throw in $10,000 Vic Bred first win, Vic Bred maidens that have been going to be 46 of them run next year. All of a sudden, that first win becomes a substantial target for a lot of owners, and really starts to improve the commercialities in some aspects of the breeding game.
Yeah, Harness Breeders Victoria hat on, and a strong representative of Harness Racing Victoria as well. The racing last night, sensational, and I think it showcased the change of season, which Harness Breeders Victoria have been very much at the forefront with, trying to get about and get it changed. I think it really showcased last night, because there was not the dramatic leaders only, wasn't all favourites winning either. I think there was a good sprinkling of horses really starting to showcase what harness racing's about, and I think what a lot of us really fell in love with back in the day and possibly lost its way purely because it was such a competitive time in the middle of winter to have these horses up and racing.
Yeah, if there was a perception with the Breeders' Crown at the end of August, a lot of the horses were tired. Just making the final was their grand final. I think this time around, with the shift of the season, and we know that this year's been really awkward and really hard for trainers to plan their programs with their horses, but if last night was anything to go by, and earlier in the week with the Trotters heats, gee, they were competitive. And when I was watching the Trots Vision coverage last night, and I'm listening to Dan and Rob and Jason go through their pre-race summaries of each of the horses, and there might have been 2, 3, 4 key winning chances, but then they're picking out horses at 150 to 1 they're saying this shouldn't be this price. This horse is going really well, and some of them were poking their noses into placings or just behind the place getters. I really enjoyed last night, and I think that if that's an indication of what next year's program might look like and the way that it'll structure up, it'll probably mean that the Breeders' Crown will be a stronger set of races than arguably it might have been. So, look, that's beauty's in the eye of the beholder there, but that's the takeaway I took from last night for sure.
And I think also you look at the Vic Bred, you have a look at the 2-year-olds around now. Go back a year and a half ago when, if we were in August, in a normal year with the Breeders' Crowns were on, the 2-year-old races weren't standing up, the 3-year-old races weren't standing up outside of that because everyone was sort of waiting on the Vic Breds and that. Whereas they're standing up everywhere. There's good sized numbers, all still waiting for that Vic Bred to come around as well. So it augurs well for a great end of this season, albeit a very long season. I think it's going to be some great racing coming up to Christmas time.
Well, that's right. I think any Vic Bred horse, whether they're Breeders' Crown eligible or not, is likely to be preparing for the heats, which start next month and culminate in the finals and all the support races on New Year's Eve. Can't wait for that. Really hoping that with whatever a COVID normal Christmas looks like, it's the only Christmas present I want, a trip to Melton on New Year's Eve. But don't tell my wife that. She'll probably, kill me. But I think that if we can, I'm really looking forward to that. If we can get to Bitbred final night, that'll just be really fantastic.
I think she's going to kill me if I FaceTime you one more time too, just quietly.
That's all right. It's all good. I'll cop it.
Mate, thank you very much. Lot number 15, as I said, love you, cruising the Pacific. Beautiful big gelding. He's just there above my head, though. He's a beautiful colour, too, I must say. He looks a little bit like the top of your noggin, mate. I'm not sure about that.
Well, the top of my noggin is there's more skin than hair these days. So the follically challenged department is well and truly my calling.
Don't worry, I ain't throwing rocks. Nick Hooper, I am going to throw to my interview with Mark Jones, but I appreciate your time. As I said, they say you should never say about your mistakes behind the scenes, but we've had a trying afternoon, but hopefully this one's going to work properly and it will go up, and I appreciate your time. I always appreciate everything you've done for Campbell's comments as well. I think you guys have been terrific, so thank you for your time. Good luck next Sunday. Hopefully I'm talking to you Sunday night, mate. We might do an interview, post it, about how happy you are or how the sales all gone. Anyway, we'll work that one out as we go.
Well, nothing like doing a review of it and seeing how it has gone. And I thank you for your time and interest. And I look forward to next weekend's sale. And I think it'll be a really important one for the industry. So can't wait. Thanks,
Nick Hooper. I'll throw over to the Mark Jones interview that was recorded a little bit earlier in the week. Nutrien Equine ready to run sale. They've got plenty of lots, plenty of intrigue and interest. They've got a New Zealand connection. Mark Jones, firstly, mate, thank you very much for joining me.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for your time.
It's an interesting concept, these ready-to-run sales. They get a little bit of mixed reports and all the rest. The Kiwis, they've been doing them for a little while. It's great that you've been involved with Nutrien, mate.
Yeah, it's good to get on board with Nutrien. Like they've put the sale on, and we've had it here in the past, and it hasn't been supported the last couple of years. So it's good the Aussies come on board, and Nutrien are good enough to do it, and we're happy to support it.
Absolutely, and you supported them with a couple of really nice lots. We can go through them in numerical order if you like. Lot number 2, he's actually already named Augusta Gold, so that's a great little sign that you're hoping for a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow anyway with him. But he's a gelded son of Lincoln Royale, mate.
Yeah, he's one that he's just bred, and the intention was always to sell him as, probably the biggest seller in New Zealand of horses. So that's how we survive. And he's a nice big horse. There's a fair bit of breeding there, and even though he's by or what we call Sir Lincoln or your Lincoln Royale, he's got a great attitude and great manners for one of those horses, and he shows a fair bit of ability and everything, and he's got all the things to make a pretty nice horse.
He's got a little teaser there in the second dam. He's got Lochinvar, but it's not the same Lochinvar a lot of people's eyes will light up about. But there's black type all the way through. I did like at the bottom of the third dam, Let's Chase the Dream. They don't come a hell of a lot better than that one, that's for sure. And it's just a nice, strong family all the way through. He looks a lovely type. You can go and see on the Nutrien Equine website, but he really looks a lovely type. Looks a pretty cool dude, actually, nice and relaxed.
Yeah, it was a great family, great Kiwi family, and a lot of depth to the family. And we sold Lochinvar pretty much at this stage as a young horse to Greg Brodie, and he went over to Australia, and I think he won 300,000 and won the Truist. So we sell him with ability, but he is a lovely horse. He's quite a big horse. He's probably getting close to 16 hands, or he will be once he gets going. But he's good at doing it with. He's a kid could drive him. He's got good manners and that. He just on the video when we trialled him, he was a bit funny with the grid on the day. He normally wears a nose flap, but we took it off and we took him to Addington. But that's probably the only fault. You put a nose flap on, he's good as gold. But attitude-wise and manners, he's perfect. And our stable were pretty tough on their manners, and it's a big part of it. So they got to learn to walk before they can run, and that's what our one's doing. He's got everything you want with him, and he always works with you.
Follows the other horse, and I haven't seen the trial footage yet, but I'm just watching the workout footage, as we're talking. But seems to follow along great. I love the fact you wear the GoPros on the front of the helmet, give people that. I suppose you're actually sitting in the seat sort of view, but he looks a professional. Ducks up the inside. He just looks first class.
Yeah, he just does everything you want. Like I said, that was a pretty good mannered. And you see him when he warms up, he's pretty loose in his gait. He just flops along. He wears a big long hobble, and he fills out when he's going. He doesn't miss a beat, doesn't hit a knee and everything. So he's all ready made. And, we don't really ask them to run at our place. We just do a lot of miles and manners and teach them and want them to enjoy it. And that's what he does. And he wants to do it, when you ask him. And, he zips up there pretty good for a big horse and does it easy.
I haven't seen the times that he ran. I haven't actually seen the official workouts just yet. They're going up as we do this recording. What sort of time did he run at Addington, mate?
I think we got him home about 59 and a quarter and 29, and we're probably 4 carts off the markers. Just had shadows there at Addington on trial day. We didn't want to get on the running line with the trials on, so it was a pretty good run. He done it easy. Like, I think the fastest he's run around home was a 1:09. Like, we don't ask him to run quick, so it's a big improvement. He done it easy. As I said, he did flick his head with the grip, but he gave me word that's not really an issue. And first time off the place is a pretty good run for a big horse.
Absolutely, and you can see there's a lot of scope for improvement in him just in the way that he is. The second of yours going around, this is a ripper, and everyone loves a black horse, but doesn't he stand out as a black horse? The betting line at a Shimmering Star. He's a cracker just to look at. As soon as you see the video of him at your property, you just go, wow.
Yeah, you probably, when you see him, you'll in the flesh, you'll say that, and he's got a beautiful head. And when you sit behind him, you probably say the same thing. He's a pretty smart horse. We've had a few from the family. We've got 2 Mach 3 fillies older than him, but they're quite big, and one had an abscess in a foot and never raced, and the next one shows a bit of promise about to qualify. But this guy's just what I'd call a very, very fast better's delight. He's great. He is extremely quick and got a great attitude, and he's got a head like a good horse, and he goes like one.
He covers the ground lovely too, doesn't he? There's a slow-mo video I was just watching just then, but he just floats over the ground. You don't really... He's just got such an easy-going action.
Yeah, he's only done what the big fella has, but he's just very, very light on his feet, and whatever he does, he's very quick. So he's got those fast muscle fibres, which put speed into them, and that's one thing he has. He's got a lot of speed, and as he gets stronger, like every horse, he'll get better. But if God never put speed into them, we'll never get out of them, and God definitely put a bit in this fella.
Great family. Half brother to a horse that's won $225,000, and Zach's Patrol, which a few of us over here will actually know as well. Back into Lochinvar, it's that same family with the other bloke that you're selling. It definitely helps having bloodlines behind them. I think this is where the ready to run sale works. You can actually see a horse on type, so if their bloodlines aren't quite as strong, you can see their action and work from there. But both yours have got lovely, lovely pedigrees underneath them, mate.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in pedigrees, and if you go to sales, you look at these horses just on the day, and now that you can see they pace good, and especially this fella, he's got speed, and he's got presence, he's got what you need in a horse to have a big future. So the breeding always comes through in the thing, and this fella's probably the complete package.
At Addington, mate, what did he run?
He was the same. He's just half and 59 and quarter and 29, and zipped up there. He done it pretty easy. Like, he's pretty laid back. He's pricking his ears and not really knowing what he's doing. And as I said, we don't drill our horses. Like, we just like do the miles, and it's a fair way to race day. But we've had a lot of good horses in the past, and we're racing some good ones now, and we've sold a lot of good ones. But what this guy shows, he's as good as a lot of the ones I've had, and he will only get better. So I'm not big on time. It's just the way they do things, and just the way he does it. Gets over the ground. Great gated and clean gated. He's got the future of a pretty good horse.
Ready to run sale. That's, I think, one thing about it that you can what you see is actually what you should be able to get, which takes a little bit of the guesswork out of it. You guys are a selling stable as well, a little bit like Ricky Alchin up in Sydney, Daniel Jack the same here. You guys are prepared to sell them, so that makes this Nutrien sale a lot more attractive when you've got people that legitimately try to sell horses. It makes it a lot better, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're not going to make idiots of sales and come on here and put big reserves and not sell them. Like, we've got to play the game as well. And, for my stable, as I said, I would be the biggest seller in New Zealand. And, we sold the New Zealand Cup winner last year early on, and there's been many good horses we've sold. So I like the horses that go and do a good job. I don't like to get a bad name if they don't. So we leave a lot in it for the buyers. And, with Nutrien coming on board, we're happy to support them. And I think we got, 2 pretty nice horses there, especially the betting line colt. And, they've got breeding behind them, and they just seem to tick the boxes, and with everything they should go on and do a good job.
For the punters at home, mate, are they currently spelling now? Or are they still actually in work? Most of the Victorian horses definitely went to spell. I'm not sure about the New South Wales horses, but yours, Pat?
Our guys went straight out after the trial day. Like, yeah, it's a big day for them, and there's no need for them. We're pretty lucky. We had a fair bit of rain here lately, and we've got a lot of grass in the paddock, so it's a great time to be there. And as I said, the manners were perfect and everything. So, yeah, they'll come back in pretty good condition, and we hard feed them twice a day, so they don't miss out on anything. So they're enjoying a well-earned rest, and hopefully, if whoever buys them or someone does that, they'll get a pretty good package and they'll be in good condition.
When a Kiwi says there's plenty of grass in the paddock, there's plenty of grass in the paddock, because over here we've had a little bit of rain, but I think you guys are killing us for the rain over there, mate.
Yeah, we got up to our knees, and there's no better start for a horse in the green grass of New Zealand. So we normally burn off this time of year, but we've got plenty of it. So they've got the head down every day and eating plenty of it, and they've got great constitution, both of them. They're both good eaters, and after work they eat up and everything. So the grass is a big help to them as well.
Lot number 2 and lot 4, Mark Jones from New Zealand. I think it's a great part of this Nutrien sale that we've got horses from overseas, basically. Even though New Zealand is part of Australia and Australia's part of New Zealand as far as harness racing goes, but I think it's a great initiative. The Ready to Run sale commences on the 20th, goes right through to the 22nd, and thank you very much for your time, Mark.
It's a pleasure, and thank you, and thanks to Nutrien for putting this on. And